Hey everybody, this is going to be a very quick video. I just wanted to show you something I ran across while I was doing a longer video for what cloud service you might want to choose with the Supernote and how that presents and how the app works, whether you sign in or don't. But one thing I noticed in doing that was just how good the Supernote Cloud app is with the apps when it comes to just the functionality of it. So what I'm showing here is all three of the apps. On the far right here, you have the mirror, the casting from my Manta. In the middle, you have the Supernote Partner app on my PC. And then here on the left, you have cast from my phone. So I wanted to show these in real time so you could see how they look and kind of how they work together. But what I wanted to show you was how this presents and how smart the system actually is if you wanted to think about creating almost an Obsidian-like workflow just using the Supernote. You wouldn't even have to put this up on the web. You wouldn't have to sync it with anything but the Supernote Cloud if you wanted all of the functionality. Now remember, all of this can stay on device, so creating internal links, creating the notes, the actual structure you see here could be on or off of the web. It doesn't have to be connected. But if you do connect it, I wanted to show how that looks all across. So here's my quick example that I used. I created my folder structure, which I always do. I number them. What you see here is I have a source node. And when I press on the source node, I'm taken into three different things. And this was a quick test. I was just testing the functionality. So if I press on website, I'm going to go into a couple of different pages about my website. And what I did here was if you go to the table of contents, you're going to see my library and blog. And then if you press on that, it's going to take you to that page. And one thing I did was I created articles or linked articles. And now I can go to some articles that I put together and I can navigate this and go through. What's nice about the Supernote is if you look down here in this bottom corner, you'll see these back arrows. The one that actually has the back arrow with a vertical dash, that'll take you all the way back. If you just want to go one layer back, you just press the one that takes you one page back at a time, and then you can go all the way back. But if you press that other one, it will actually take you back to the actual home page, if you will. And then I also created one for social media. I did move this to put it into folders, so it does take it here a minute to search and re-identify where that is. And now it's going to pull that up. Once you have everything structured, I did it a little bit backwards than I normally would, where I took it and put it in the folders after I created the notes. That's good in a way because it allowed me to free flow and just create new note as I was going through this process. And I'll show that some other time. But again, I haven't created any links here, but here are some of the links that I could create. And then I can go back and navigate. And then if you look at courses, and you'll see here are the courses that I'm considering creating. And I think most of you know that I'm looking at creating a Supernote and Obsidian course, some courses maybe on organization and productivity. So this is the way I can brainstorm. What you see here, and now we'll move on to the Supernote Partner app here in the middle, is you get all of that same functionality we just had over here in the Supernote itself, but now it's replicated in the Partner app because the Partner app keeps all of your files locally. So you get it stored in the cloud, but then when you pull down and you sync, you also create local copies. So it works very much like Obsidian in that way through Windows Explorer. So if I double click on this source note, I'm going to get the same exact navigation. And then all I do, now the thing that's going to be different here is it won't have that back button at the bottom. So you will have to come back to your main navigation to maybe do a few other things. But you could also build in a backlink down in the bottom corner or some links across the bottom to have ease of navigation again, like you do with Obsidian when you're building multiple links
to different notes and different content. But just having that source note available is a big deal. And again, now I'm working in my social media tab and I get to see, I can do my page view. I could do, if I had headers, they would show keywords, and then I can export straight from here. So that's really kind of cool, and I can always go and navigate through my regular screen. So now I know I'm working in the website. If I want to work in just the blog, I can always go right here. So that's kind of a cool function. Like I said, one thing they could add here, and I think eventually they will, is the back navigation to just jump directly back to where you're linking from. So if we look over on the phone, you're going to see a similar behavior, only instead of double clicking, you're just going to single click because it would be on a phone. I'm showing it on my PC, so it's going to look a little different. But now, when I press on each of these things, again, it was a quick video. Just wanted to show you that functionality. I know a lot of you hear me talk about organization and second brain and how I can be as productive as possible. This gives me a really good way to be able to be productive completely on all the devices I have. Now, I can only edit on the Supernote, but quite frankly, that's where I do most of my creation. So the idea that I can at least still go in on desktop app, the mobile app, and to some degree the cloud itself, although the cloud interface is a little bit clunkier. The fact that I can do all of that from here and then view it on all my other devices is really amazing. And I think it really gives this idea of a second brain not having to be something that I only have in Obsidian. I mean, that is my workflow. But if someone didn't want to do that, if they wanted to keep it all on device, if they didn't want to go to Obsidian, if they didn't want to learn another program, if they didn't want to convert and do Markdown, they can still do the second brain activities in a very organic way that you really can't do on any other platform that I know of. I know that Aaron at 3520 Media has done an extensive walkthrough on the books platform, and I think that his structure is brilliant. I mean, absolutely brilliant. But I think some of the tools, he has really good workarounds for how to make that system work, and that system does different things than the Supernote does. I think the Supernote is just geared more towards a specific approach to a second brain. And I don't mean the specific like you're made to do it a specific way, but more so that it allows you multiple ways to achieve your goal. So you can really create your own adventure through linking, through headings, through just keywords, star marks, all these other tools that they give you. And that is really powerful. Anyway, again, short video. Hopefully, this was a quick hit. That was my goal once it gets edited. But until next time, stay safe and keep